Hey everybody, this is Eric. Appreciate you joining us for the webinar. Still have a lot of people filing in. We'll be starting here in just a little bit. Thanks again for being here. Hey everybody, this is Eric. Appreciate you joining the webinar here. Still have a lot of people filing in. We'll be starting the webinar in just a bit. Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of EY Live. My name is Eric Young. I'm the President and Creative Director of EY Studios. I am the EY and EY Live. And I'm joined here by our Executive Producer of EY Live. Is it fair to call you that? Is that your title, Tara?
I think that should be my official title.
The lovely and talented Tara Davis. How's it going, Tara?
Good, Eric. How about you?
Great. And we have some special guests here in the studio.
We do.
Some other EY folks. We have Orvin Moore. Orvin, how's it going?
It's going pretty well, Eric. How about yourself?
We have official introductory slide. Don't worry, you didn't get shorted. You have your own graphic. Everything's coming up.
Okay, I'm excited to show
I checked the contract. It's fine. We also have Kate Wicker. Kate, how's it going?
It's going great.
And Kate is live tweeting.
She is.
Hashtag ready to go. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Super cheesy. All right. So if you'd like to follow along the official EY Studios Twitter account, see some of the nuggets of joy we'll be going through here today. We have our co-host here, Don Cole. Don, are you there?
I am here and ready to go.
Very good. Don and I were recounting the very first webinar that we did with EY Live. We had muted Don, couldn't figure out how to unmute him. So I'm glad we can hear you, Don. How's it going?
It's doing good. I'm a little scared at seeing, these guys, wearing these lab coats, because I think if I saw those guys coming at me, I would run.
It looks mildly threatening, but it's the gimmick, Don. You just got to go along with it, okay? But the theme of this webinar is the mid-year checkup, and Don and I are the doctors, better or worse. We are the doctors giving the checkup here, and a lot to cover here. We've got a jam-packed webinar. A lot of folks have tuned in to hear what Don and I have to say about the Verizon purchase of Yahoo. A lot of things to report on that. We'll be talking about sales data and what Orvin's seeing through analytics. and then we have a lot of platform updates and just e-commerce things that are moving and happening across the industry. Don, you prepared for that? You did study, right, Don?
I did study. I have prepared. I have notes, flashcards. I got everything ready, and as long as I keep them in order, I'll be good.
Great.
And if you have any questions throughout the webinar, as always, I will be answering the questions if you want to ask them through the GoToWebinar portal. But also, if you want to tweet us at EY Studios or use the hashtag EY Live, Kate will be making sure that we get those questions answered as well.
Okay, you do know how to retweet, right? Is that advanced Twitter? Is that?
Oh, goodness.
Okay, you're good to go. All right, let's get it going. All right, so first up, we're going to be talking about 2016 e-commerce sales, what we're seeing there.
All right, and we have a poll for this question.
That's right. We start off with a poll. So before we get into our data, what we're seeing, we want to hear from you guys. What are you seeing for your sales? What's happening, good or bad? I just want to kind of get the lay of the land from the attendees here. If sales are up or down, kind of in between. What are you seeing there? Seeing a lot of shifting there on the poll results before we close this. Everybody vote. Let us know how your store is doing. Kind of an even mix, looks like. About to close it up. All right. We'll see the results there.
All right, it looks like we have 38% of people are achieving all the goals that they had for the year. 34% are they're off from what they expected, and then 28% are way down. So it's kind of even across the board.
Pretty big chunk for each. What do you think of that, Orvin? Does that kind of match what you're seeing overall? What are your thoughts?
I'm impressed that 38% are meeting all their goals, especially at this time of year. We typically see wide panic. So
drop off the summer slump.
Exactly. So I'm very impressed by the amount of merchants who feel that way.
Definitely.
All right, so we're closing the poll up. We'll go on. So the first stat we want to share with you is that 89% of shoppers stop buying from a store after they've experienced poor customer service. It could be not getting an answer to a question about a product, prompt reply, whatever it is. That is a huge percentage. I mean, it's not like it's shocking, Orvin. What do you think on that?
Absolutely not shocking. I would have expected it to be higher, in fact. So it definitely speaks to how important customer service is.
Right. And by the way, all the sources are annotated right there at the lower left there. And this is what we're seeing for 2016. So let's go to the next one. So 25% of U.S. mobile shoppers are over the age of 55. I thought that was pretty interesting, Orvin. I think a lot of folks above 55 are kind of disconnected. Their voice not really heard. What are you seeing there? What are your thoughts?
That's also what I've seen before. I've also seen research that suggests by about 2020 that could be around 30 to 40%.
So just because,
exactly, people age of 50 and older are becoming more tech aware, so to speak, and so they have the ability to shop from their mobile devices now more than ever.
And I think there's also kind of a common misunderstanding that folks that are older are always on their desktop.
Exactly.
And, you know, my dad's 74. I can't get him off his phone or his iPad. I mean, he loves that stuff.
Exactly.
He does some shopping.
Right. I mean, it's also what I see with my family members. I can't get my mom to give me a call back. She'd rather text me. So it's definitely trending in that direction. You can't discount older shoppers at all.
Pretty big trend. All right, Jerry. So 74%, this is awesome, 74% depend on social media to guide their online purchases. You know, Ranger Up was just a client of ours. Ranger Up was just in the studio this week. They are huge on social media. Love for everybody to check them out, see what they're doing across social channels. Certainly this figure would not surprise them. Might surprise others. You know, we still encounter a lot of merchants that don't really think that social has anything to do with commerce. It's a brand builder, but it doesn't really have anything to do with driving purchases. And obviously it's very different across various industries depending on what you sell. But overall, that's a huge figure, and that's up big time from last year. Okay. Now 55% of customers will pay more for a better experience. So recent polling data from McKinsey has revealed this, and you know that just goes to show that you know, if you ignore the experience, that's going to have a very direct impact on sales. What do you think, Orvin?
I agree. And just to kind of go back a little bit to that social, you know, it goes back to the old adage that word of mouth is sometimes the best way for you to get new customers. And we live in a social world now. Most people use different social platforms to stay in touch with family, friends, what have you. So, you know, if they recommend a product, they're much more likely to go to that store and make a purchase.
Absolutely.
And you see that with the better experience. If
Right.
someone has a great experience on their store, they're more likely to have, you know, give that recommendation, that word of mouth to a friend or family member, which can increase your sales. So
Right. Okay.
it all ties in.
Now check this one out. 30% of mobile shoppers abandon transactions if the shopping experience is not optimized for mobile. And Terry, is that surprising? What do you think?
I don't think it's surprising at all. I know, I mean, that definitely resonates with my personal shopping experience,
Sure.
as does the customer service one. So.
Right, and so again, we're seeing a lot of merchants that are still slow to hop on the train of mobile. That's the biggest surprising thing that I see.
Yeah.
Or if they do jump on, they give it just kind of a marginal effort. And so what we're seeing at EY Studios is the folks that really invest in that experience are reaping the rewards, and that's definitely in line with what we're seeing here at EY. What do you think, Don? Seeing all these percentages, what are your thoughts?
None of them really surprise me. Actually, I'm sort of surprised that 30% of abandonment isn't higher. But I think, yeah, the key thing is really for mobile is making it a better and better experience. And as technology evolves, making that better experience, and then as, you know, technology becomes more embedded with, you know, older shoppers, and, you know, as obviously all of us get older, the more that can happen, the more it's going to continue to happen. And I think desktop is going to, you know, so far it hasn't taken a big hit on desktop, but I think it's going to, over time, eat more and more of it up as people are using mobile or using iPads. I mean, you know, all the grandparents I know, all the grandparents, all my kids, all use iPads, and I think that's where they do all their shopping. So.
Right. Well, let's hear more from Orvin about what the data is showing us. So I'll leave it to you, Orvin. Go ahead.
Okay. And I just want to provide some information for our merchants. These are some of the trends that we're seeing on mobile in 2016, and these are personally observed trends that I've seen handling our analytics here at EY Studios, and also some research from Google. So we'll start off with the increased emphasis of availability. That's the key with mobile.
Mm-hmm. What do you mean by availability? What do you mean by that?
Well, previously, and Don touched on it a little bit with the desktop comparison, the decision to buy for most consumers started on desktop, whereas now it's primarily on mobile. So that increased availability is of importance because research shows that up to 60% of online shoppers now begin their journey to a purchase on a mobile device.
They start there. They research
Exactly.
things, compare the pricing
Exactly.
and whatnot.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
And to sort of tie into that point, mobile has actually extended the decision journey. What I've come across is most merchants think that because of the availability that, you know, potential consumers are looking to buy now, but research actually shows that that's not the case, and it's for one of the reasons you mentioned with the comparison shopping, having all this information on various stores available at their fingertips. It allows them to gather more information, and so it actually takes them a longer time to buy.
I see. Okay.
And
micro moments, what is that?
Well, micro moments is really a big thing in analytics, and really it's anything that is beyond a sale. And typically our merchants don't keep track of these, but they're important because in this have it now time that we are in with mobile, you know, the actual time spent on a site is decreasing year over year. So you really only have a small window to reach out to consumers with, and those micro moments, it could be anything from, you know, a particular image on a carousel, you know, a downloadable PDF, or even a quote feature if you utilize one of those. So there's just really small moments that help you understand how potential consumers are interacting with the site beyond a sale.
So a longer time on the site as a metric is not as valid as it used to be, which is what you're saying.
It's not really a key indicator as much as it used to be because time spent on a site is decreasing year over year.
Interesting.
5% since 2014.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Or can you stick around through the webinar?
I can stick around for
All
sure.
right.